Minnesota protester admits to being paid. On air to Fox News, Laura Ingraham.
Shame! Shame!
Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now! Shame! Shame!
It's Sunday, I'm Akorn, and this is your weekly dose of the idiocracy that is modern-day society. If you'd like to help keep this channel alive, please share the videos. Let's jump into today's show. Ma'am Donnie tunes into The View to receive his classified morning briefings. Steam developer says his game got harder because young people can't write an email. After Hours is a puzzle game where fans can send an email in real life to get hints, but many people apparently don't know how email actually works. Well, guys, many of us have went from rotary dial phones to computers to the Oregon Trail, then to the internet with us listening for the "You've got mail" from AOL. Then we have come all the way up today to where AI is a thing, and the Terminator probably isn't very far off at all. And now we're coming to the point that we're seeing the end of email because the younger generations don't know how to use email. But don't despair, I'm sure there's an AI app for that.
If you homeschool your kids, they won't fit in with society.
Society. And this is just a few of the reasons. When TurboTax asks if you have any dependents. Yeah, no kidding. Survival tip. If lost in the woods, build a shelter. The tax collector will be there shortly. Crypto is going to be huge this year. Wrong. AI stocks will be. Reality. Popular grocery store chain uses biometric surveillance on shoppers, raising privacy concerns. A viral post highlighting biometric surveillance at Wegmans grocery store in New York City is sparking renewed privacy concerns. Biometric identifier information collected at this location. A sign attached to the door of the Wegmans reads, Wegmans Food Markets Incorporated collects, retains, converts, stores, or shares customer biometric identifier information, which may include facial recognition, eye scans, and voice prints, the sign states. Wegmans confirmed it is collecting the biometric readings, telling Fox News Digital in a statement the safety of our customers and employees is a top priority. Yeah, just remember, everything they do is just for your safety. Being far right in 2025 just means having the same views as 99.9% of all humans who ever lived up until the 21st century. You're not far right. You're just normal. I don't know what to say about this one, guys. Just listen to their, let's just say, perceptive intellect.
Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Okay, in that case, bread doesn't make sandwiches, people make sandwiches. Cars don't drive people to work, people drive people to work.
Republicans just removed a spending provision placed by Somali Representative Ilan Omar that would have sent $1 million to a fraudulent clinic in Minnesota. The $1 million was for a substance abuse clinic that happens to be housed in a restaurant run by 3 people with the same residential address. One of many reasons to homeschool. Name something stupid that liberals do. Claim there is a gender pay gap, then turn around and say there's no such thing as gender. 22-year-old OnlyFans model Sherry Vandersloot got a nose job so her children will inherit her new nose and not the ugly one she formerly had. I don't want my kids to grow up being made fun of like I was for my ugly nose. I want to pass down a more natural nose to them. A giant step back. Liberals rage against red meat after new food pyramid guidelines release. One group said meat and dairy are chiefly responsible for disease and diabetes. Man, what a joke. With how bad the food supply is these days, about the best thing you can find to eat is eggs from backyard chickens and beef from a local farmer. Those two things would beat anything that you can find in the grocery store these days. And it's also the same reason that they've been demonized so much.
Diversity is our strength. Immigrants are the fabric of Minnesota. It was only $9 billion stolen. If you don't like it, you're racist.
I like how they spelled stolen. Here's another Gen Z mathematician.
I'd rather take 100,000 pennies over $100,000. Here's the twist. That's because 100,000 in pennies is worth more than $100,000.
Huh?
Isn't that concerning?
Geico sues Oakland County woman for not listing her 12-year-old daughter on car insurance policy. Southfield, Michigan. Geico is suing a Southfield area woman because she did not list her 12-year-old daughter, who does not drive, on her personal injury protection form. According to the complaint, Geico says they have no obligation to cover any costs from a crash last year. So this woman has Geico insurance, and she has her 12-year-old daughter with her when she gets into a wreck, and now Geico is saying because her 12-year-old daughter, which obviously is not old enough to drive, well, these days anyway, but because she was with her, that somehow just magically voids her insurance claim because she wasn't listed on her insurance. And here's the thing, this isn't an isolated incident. It was either in this article or another one that I read where they said there was a number of cases where they did this. So now, what this could be leading toward is that we're not allowed to have passengers in our vehicles unless they are specifically listed on our insurance. And if we don't have them on our insurance, then any claim is automatically void. I mean, think about it. This is exactly where they'll take this. I mean, why not? Because then, not only can they deny a lot of claims, but they'll also get to charge extra for each passenger that you have listed on your insurance. And then, if you want to be able to have anyone with you, like you want to be able to take any passenger, that'll be a whole policy upgrade. They may even try to claim that it would require commercial vehicle insurance. I could easily see the whole insurance industry grow this way. You can be denied citizenship in Switzerland for being too annoying. I spent $200,000 on my dogs. I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but their intellect makes them really valuable. I've had a number of dogs through the years. I have 2 right now that are going on 9 years old, but if I remember right in this article, this guy paid $75,000 for the first dog, and then later on he paid $125,000 for the second dog, which that extra $50,000 was to get his pick of the litter. I'm sorry, I don't care how great of dogs they are, $200,000? At least at the moment anyway, could be used for so many other things. But it's his money. If that's how he wants to spend it, that's his prerogative. Thank you, Elon. Pete Hegseth announces new Department of War partnership with X's Grok AI. Well, I guess Spynet's almost complete. Even more so in the sense that they have been spying on us for decades. Now just think of how Spynet is tracking everything we do now. Republican introduces bill seeking to make Greenland 51st state. Well, you got Greenland, then there's Canada and Mexico, Venezuela, probably Colombia, And then at the end of it, they'll probably toss in the UK as well and call it the North American Union. Here's a clip that I came across today of some angry feminist Karens yelling at men while telling them that men are the ones who can't control their emotions.
Men can't control their emotions and abuse women.
Men can't control their emotions?
Yes, and abuse women.
You can't control them.
Excuse me, I'm angry. I'm angry and I'm loud. That's not emotional. That's called being persistent and passionate. And all the football coaches
they don't
who
believe
yell
in
at their
science.
little
There's
boys
no talking to
and
them.
say that's not emotional.
Okay.
That's
Well,
a
look,
bad.
I want to say I'm
Your
pro-life.
testosterone is what makes you illogical and emotional.
Disgusting.
Me after starting a Somali daycare center. Toyota is being sued after a driver discovered his car was tracking him. Toyota hit by a lawsuit after Florida resident gets higher insurance rates despite a clean driving record due to telemetry data. Like I've said on a lot of past shows, and we've already had multiple instances in today's show too, for the few people today that actually believe that we have any kind of privacy, pretty much about anything, you're kidding yourself. Is the fall of Rome comparable to the current situation in the United States? No, Rome had good roads. It's very true. Gen Z are arriving to college unable to even read a sentence. Professors warn it could lead to a generation of anxious and lonely graduates. Well, I guess at this point, if colleges were to stop destroying society and to ever do anything remotely helpful, they need to add Reading and Math 101 for all freshmen who fail the entry test. Of course, if you're going to do those two, then there's a whole other lot of classes that could be added to the list. But if we're going to do that, then we might as well just start a new school and call it the University of Functional Education and Common Sense. What all classes do you think we should include? Drop it down in the comments. The staggering cost of Ed Miliband's net zero drive finally revealed. 4.5 trillion pounds. That's more than the UK's entire GDP. Imagine, if you will, a government so corrupt it tries to convince the people that accountability is illegal. When Al Gore was born, only 7,000 polar bears existed. Now, only 26,000 polar bears remain. Yeah, it's sad about how all the polar bears' territory just melting away. Bunch of hooligans. 50 sheep charge into German supermarket. Hilarious video goes viral.
That's expensive penny magnet.
Yep.
No. Thank you, send it sour. And let's give me money.
Ja, nee. Ey, die Scheiße doch jetzt Achtermann. Oder?
Thank you, send it sour. Der send it sour.
Da ist mir ganz dicht.
Der musst du jetzt umlassen. Der immer.
Jemand anders einkaufen geht.
Wenn ihr
Being ruled by warlords. being ruled by warlords in suits that let you pretend to elect them. Am I stupid because I'm socialist? Or am I a socialist because I'm stupid? Yes. A woman accused this man for raping her in her dream. Then he spent 28 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Yeah, like my grandpa said, there are many innocent men in prison because of women's lies. The Russians don't want you to know this, but the oil tankers in the Atlantic are free. You can just take them home. I have 5. Nothing in this life is free. There's always going to be a cost. You can't put a price on life. U.S. healthcare system. Well, no, but actually yes. All the feminist women out there who demand what they call equal rights, well, you'll likely find out what equal actually means. And it certainly is not what this woman thinks it will be like.
Women are drafted to the military. I am most excited to see the confrontation between commanding officers and the girl. Think we're going to let you yell at us? Do you think we're going to do something without a please and thank you? Like, let's sit down and have a conversation about what you want and what I want, and we'll reach a happy medium. Because there's no way I'm doing what you want when you use that tone with me. You think you can push us around like you do with these men? Think again, baby.
Imagine how little we'd actually need to be taxed if it wasn't going toward fraud. Yeah, and the biggest fraud is the government. That's how they put this country into nearly $40 trillion in debt. If I die before November 3rd, please make sure I don't vote for a Democrat. I meet someone. We talk. I explain the satanic elites are trying to kill us all. They leave. I meet someone. Something that seems to get glossed over, I think anyway, is how liberals are always doing these protests. When do they have time to keep doing these over and over again? Well, it's easy. They don't work.
I quit my job for this, and I've been having flare-ups and stuff, so it's like I can barely, and I have a panic attack.
You said when you heard the sirens, you immediately ran out. Where were you?
I was about 15 minutes away.
And what were you doing?
I was disassociating on my bed. I mean, I might as well put my time to something useful. If you've seen the video, everything, it was not self-defense by that terrorist. It was not.
How did your boss respond when you quit?
It was like a part-time. I'm getting back after a lot happened recently in my life, so sometimes disability takes my life over, and I'm still kind of in shock. Like,
school's been canceled. Have people been taking off work for this? Have you had to take off work for this?
Countries with the most arrests for online comments. For those who think the police in the UK arresting people for Facebook posts and other things are fake reports, they're not. In past shows, I've had multiple news articles about this, and even video footage of police arresting people, telling them that they were being arrested for a Facebook post, memes, or whatever it was. And here's a question for you. What do you think will happen with all of this when the UK becomes the 57th state? So, if we don't let athletes bet on games they have the ability to influence, why do we allow Congress to invest in companies they regulate? Because they're not going to make a law against themselves. And if they do make some sort of law that would normally cover Congress just because they're U.S. citizens, then they usually will make an add-on that Congress is exempt from that law, which they do fairly often, I think. Not that they follow the law to begin with, though. A drunk man in Poland stole a 36-ton T-55 tank and took it for a joyride. Hey, sounds like fun. Denmark renames Greenland so Trump will never talk about it again. That might work. And I'll end today's show with this. I have the diploma, therefore I am educated. I passed the test, therefore I am smart. The academic. School creates employees. Curiosity creates masters. A grade is just a measure of how well you can obey instructions. Do not confuse memorizing the map with knowing the territory. Mark Twain. And it's very true. And that's exactly what the so-called U.S. public education system was for, to create employees that don't think for themselves, but rather just follow instructions. And we can see that plainer today than any time before, with kids not even being able to read or do basic math anymore. If you'd like to help save the channel, please consider hitting that like, subscribe, and share the videos. That's it for today's show, but I'll see you guys back here on next week's show. Until then, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this week. This is Akorn, over and out.